F1 Manager 23 could be an incredible game. It could be the amazing update to F1 22 that the community has been crying out for. So many solid fundamentals in F1 Manager 22, but they need to add these big 3 changes if they actually want F1 Manager 23 to be worth the upgrade. Let me know in the comments what you think. The first thing that the community has been crying out for has to be the ability to change team in F1 Manager. If they do not add this change, I really think they are underestimating the player base of F1 Manager and almost sort of a little bit insulting them, because we get good at F1 Manager. We work out the strategies, we work out how to upgrade the car, and we end up taking our team to dominating the World Championship. At that point, we need a different challenge. And F1 Manager 22 just did not give us a different challenge like that in any way. We need the ability baked in the game to be able to change team. People will do it in games like Football Manager. So what that means is if you go and you dominate as, I don't know, Aston Martin, then you can change to Williams and you can try and do it all over again. And you have to actually beat the Aston Martin team that you built up. So I really, 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 really hope they add this to the game. They've had 1 year to get this feedback and see what they can do. And to me, it would be a real travesty if they don't add it in. The other thing that I think they really need to do, and if you look at the explosion of, you know, Formula 1 generally with Drive to Survive, social media, it's all about this community interaction. I remember they even have it in the game with like some tweets and stuff like that. But they need to add some sort of multiplayer to F1 Manager 23. This doesn't need to be the holy grail of live multiplayer. That would be the best thing. That would, for me, literally break the internet. That would be, I would be all over it if they were like F1 Manager has a head-to-head mode, or maybe even up to a 10 principal mode where you're all making, there's no pausing, you're all making decisions on the fly. I can tell you that would absolutely destroy social media and people would have to buy the game to be a part of it. I don't think that's going to be possible with the way they've structured and coded the game. But they should still have some aspect where you can play against other people, maybe asymmetrically. So you do a race and then it kind of saves it, and then you can have your friend challenge you and try and beat you in that race. There needs to be some sort of, any sort of multiplayer aspect to the game, because there isn't at the moment. And doing the Formula 1 game with no multiplayer aspect, to me, is kind of insane, because you miss out on all of that engagement and the banter and, you know, people being fans of teams and drivers. So I really, really, really hope that they add it. The other thing they need to do, and they may actually be adding this, is scenarios. They have a feature called race replays. Now, if they can take these race replays and actually really curate them throughout the season. Remember, the season's already started here. By the time this game comes out, we're going to be well of the way through the season. Max Verstappen probably already going to pretty much tied up the championships. It's not a great season for them this season. But they need to follow some of the stories. They're quite good on Twitter. They do this. They kind of do some polls. And that's ironically where they're getting multiplayer engagement in their game. But they need to have these scenarios that allow us to, immediately after a race happens and we see Ferrari mess it up yet again, we can go into the game, into the scenario, we can have that cathartic experience of actually doing better. So those are 3 examples of things they can do. By the way, I want to understand from you features that you think they should be adding. They do look at this channel. They do look at the suggestions. We did recommend scenarios last year. Now, they are adding other things to the game, like a sporting director, driver confidence as well. Ultimately, we need to see better AI. We can't have these DRS trains. They did patch them a little bit, but you still get the DRS trains. You still get the AI just not dealing with undercuts at all. The AI was very, very, very stupid in F1 Manager. And that's why I say it's a little bit insulting to us as players if they don't improve these parts of the game, because we know they're deficient. We know they're not challenging. We know that for the first hour or two of the game, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm sure for the first hour or two, F1 Manager 23 will be absolutely amazing, whatever happened. But I'm talking about hour 20, hour 40, hour 80. I think it's almost impossible to have a good experience playing F1 Manager for a long amount of time. And I know I basically wrote the book on YouTube about F1 Manager. I did a video about every single aspect of the game, and it does get quite tedious. So I really hope they respect player intelligence. Let me know what you want to see. I'm going to keep following it, but those are 3 big suggestions. I will see you next time.